Hello and welcome to the Economic Times Insurance Special episode. The insurance sector has faced great upheaval in the last year. Industry leaders talk to us about how they have used technology to get growth back on track and their future plans. First up, we are in conversation with Atul Sahai, CMD at New India Assurance, the country's largest public sector general insurance company. Being the country's largest public sector general insurance company, how have you used technology to keep your business up and running during and post the lockdown?
Yes, it is very important. In fact, in retrospect, now I feel that just because we took certain steps, additional steps as far as our IT infrastructure is concerned, that IT is subject to huge obsolescence in terms of infrastructure. So it just so happened that 2 years back, we all sat together and we decided that in times to come, IT will be a major focus area. So we decided to invest more in it. And then we recruited some more employees to tackle IT. And I'm so very happy that it came so very handy. So because that gave us the edge. And in fact, we extended VPN facilities, token facilities to all our key employees. And our business continued, like seamlessly it continued. During the period when all the other insurance companies or the industry was declining, we were the only company, despite being the largest, despite having the heaviest base of renewals, we were the only company which grew. In fact, right now also, we are the only company which grew. So that is how the extraordinary steps that we took, especially vis-a-vis our IT infrastructure and extending portal facilities to all our agents. So that helped us a lot.
So the scope for the growth of general insurance in India is immense. Now, how are you, as at your level, being the largest public sector general insurance company, how are you working towards this to try and help the mass get insured?
So there is a huge scope of it, but we must always keep it in mind that when you look at penetration, it is always in terms of certain percentage of GDP. And gradually, as the awareness is increasing, more and more people who are capable of taking insurance, they are going for insurance. We have to keep one thing in our mind, that insurance is one thing which is done from your spendable income. So as the economy progresses, as the GDP grows, the insurance will also grow. It's not so like if the economy is growing, this will automatically come up, because if there are certain insurance cannot be the first choice. First of all, there are survival needs, other needs which are to be met, only then the guy will think of insurance. But anyway, all said and done, there are many people who can afford insurance, still they do not go for it. That is the lack of awareness. And I'm very happy that the government has taken certain decisions, especially in reference to increased FDI. So there will be more competition, there will be more players. And at the end of the day, it would amount to increased awareness, which would translate into increased penetration. So I definitely see it as an opportunity, as a huge opportunity to expand general insurance business.
What are the plans of the company for the next financial year?
Next financial year, look, our plans are the same way which were for the last year, because as far as the basic thing is concerned, we need to grow profitably and with customer in focus. So what we have done, in fact, this year also, like last year also, we have constantly been improving ourselves in all the parameters as far as all customer services are concerned. The number of percentage of claims getting settled are continuously increasing. It is now touching almost 92% in this Corona times. Earlier it was 96, 97% in initial first 2 quarters. We were struggling with something like 50% claim settlement. Now it has gone to 92% and will again go to, by the time year ends, another 15 days, we'll again touch our magical figures of 95, 96%, which is huge. And I suppose that should be the highest in the industry. So as number one. The second thing is that as far as our combined ratios are concerned, they are constantly coming down. For almost, if you keenly observe all our last 7-8 quarters, you will feel that continuously our combined ratios are coming down. Incurred claim ratios are coming down. So all the litmus test on which the insurance companies are judged, we are very happy to share that we have been doing extremely well. And even during these Corona times, we have done very well. And I hope that we are able to continue in the next year also. We are keeping a ballpark figure of growing by something like 15% during the next year. And this thing at a adjusted combined ratio of something like 90%.
Welcome back. After getting the general insurance perspective, it's now time to shift focus to life insurance. First up, we hear from Tarun Chugh, MD and CEO of Bajaj Allianz Life Insurance, one of India's leading life insurance companies. How has Bajaj Allianz used technology to bridge the gap between the insurer and the insured?
See, the pandemic, Sumit, has been a big leveler. And the way the pandemic has moved the technology part of things has been tectonic, I would say. It's huge change. And see, the first signals that came in were in the e-commerce industry and a little bit in the banking side. And in the banking, first we saw it with the digital payments moving up significantly. Quickly, I think between the customer and the companies, we were clear that this is the, what we call the TINA effect. There is no alternative. You have to be on digital. So after digital payments, then lots of things started changing very quickly. And what the insurance sector used to earlier do was we used to focus on about 70% of our time, effort, money, all the budgets used to be focused on the back-end technology, because how to keep customer data secure, how to be having a policy admin services on tap, and how to service the customer through the life of the journey. So all mid-office and back office. Now suddenly this effort and budget, at least the discretionary budgets, were more spent on customer-facing technologies. I think that's what digital has now become, and the changes, that is what is significant. And in customer-facing technology, all of us, and particularly Bajaj Allianz Life, we proactively had all our technology suite in place already. It's not that we kind of started with the pandemic. So we could, for example, when it's customer-facing or distributor-facing, so I'll just talk about distributor-facing first, like whether it was recruiting the agent, whether it was training the agent, whether it was for the agent to manage his or her learning or progress. All this is available on the digital era. So it was available. And similarly for the customer, buying through a tablet, and basically not paper anymore, was already there in place. But what happened with the COVID situation was that suddenly a couple of things changed. From digital, we suddenly had to be virtual.
Right, exactly.
So we came up with this layer of technology where, our app became virtual in nature. So you could fill up your form by either being 5 meters away from me, 500 meters or 5,000 meters, it didn't matter. Regulator has really helped us in the entire process, and they've been quite agile in helping everybody. The other bit that changed was that usually, when digital progression happens in a sector or a company, it is gradual usually. So, in 3 years, you would learn a lot more and, you'll gradually change and you'll try new things. Now, suddenly 3 years became 3 months.
Absolutely.
In 3 months, we got so much data from customers. We had to not just be virtual, we suddenly had to learn intuitively which customer-facing technologies had to suddenly change, what servers had to be added at the back end. Suddenly we saw ballooning of chatbots, ballooning of usage on WhatsApp, ballooning of usage of the customer portal, the advisor assistance. All of that went through a crazy move. So as a result, we had to supercharge our way of working, change the way we work.
Term insurance has seen significant growth, during the pandemic, because people have become more aware and obviously more worried about their health and therefore wanting to go for that product. Do you see this trend carry on over the next year as well?
Oh yes. You'll start by seeing what happens in March. This trend you will see from March, April, May, June. So that was the time when we suddenly saw that, customer confidence suddenly crashed.
Okay.
People said we'll keep cash in hand. And now this is all reversing.
Right.
Now people are seeing more hope that with the vaccine coming, they're seeing that there will be, money in hand. They'll be able to, more business will happen. Term products, hence, will still go up, but not as much. We this time expect many different kind of products. So markets are at their peak. So even ULIPs are now getting bought.
Okay.
Term policies are getting bought. You'll see that soon, and this will be visible in March itself, because March is a 15-day period. The last 15 days almost constitute 15%. And my fingers crossed, let's hope it'll be as good this time. When, like earlier March is when you suddenly used to have a barrage of business. And we expect that maybe starting this March, the momentum shall remain for good. We expect almost a sector to grow by almost 50 to 60% in the month of March. And that to continue because the base effect is there as well. And the GDP will go up significantly. And this will help with more money in the hands of the customers.
Next up, we are in conversation with Parag Raja, MD and CEO of Bharti AXA Life Insurance, one of India's most renowned life insurance companies.
How do you feel that COVID-19 has really changed consumer preference on buying life insurance? Because uncertainty has really made consumers think through their behavior. Are you seeing people subscribing for more life insurance policies? What's the trend in policies as well as in insurance claims?
I must say that the answer to your question is a resounding yes. Preference for looking at life insurance as a product category has definitely increased. There has been a significant mindset shift when it comes to consumers and life insurance as a category. So let me give you a few pointers. First and foremost, before COVID, we would see that insurance as a product meant more investments. It was like seen as an investment option in addition to other product categories. The shift that we are seeing now is that consumers are focusing more on protection. So they have understood because of this pandemic that there are significant uncertainties. And when it comes to their life goals, many other financial products do not protect them towards this uncertainty. So the queries on protection as a category has increased from before. The other thing that we did is in the initial days in the first quarter, April to June, when we were at the peak of the COVID pandemic, we did a quick research with about 2,000 consumers, some existing, some new. And two insights came out. The first thing was that consumers were looking for a product. They wanted insurance, they wanted protection, but they wanted hospitalization with it. And that was an insight that came out from the survey. The other thing that came out is that they did not want, because there was so much of uncertainty in, their overall situation in income and so on and so forth, because everything got disrupted. They were looking at an option where the product allowed them to pay for shorter periods of time. So with these two consumer insights, we immediately launched what we call Life and Health Secure. It's a product which has a combination of life insurance, it has a combination of hospitalization, and it has a combination of critical illness. So we packaged these three, and this took off very, very well as far as we are concerned. So that's the big shift that we are seeing now.
How has digital infrastructure helped you in business continuity? And what are the digital tools you are using to make the buying process smoother for the customers, especially, with the pandemic and the lockdown?
So Sumit, we've been forced as a sector to fast track all digital initiatives as far as the sector is concerned, and also particularly at our company, Bharti AXA Life. What we have done internally as an organization is we've got one more insight, which is that most of the consumers, while they are operating digitally, as far as employees are concerned, we need to make sure that they have everything available on their phone so that they can connect and talk to the consumers digitally.
Absolutely.
In this regard, we launched what we call the first virtual office. And there are three products in this. There's the M-Cell, M-Customer, and M-Life. Mm-hmm. In a sense, what this does is the pre-sales process, the onboarding process, and the servicing process, all of this can be done through a mobile handset, which is there with our distributors and our employees. This, therefore, makes it easier for them to connect with consumers.
Parag, the focus of Bharti AXA Life is protection products. So why is that, and what are you doing to make it a game-changing strategy in the market?
So Sumit, I fundamentally believe that life insurance is about protection. We do have products which help a consumer make investments and savings, but fundamentally, as a life insurance company, our job is to make sure that we provide protection, because that no other financial services product does. And therefore, protection is an integral part of our product strategy. As far as Bharti AXA Life is concerned, like I mentioned earlier, through the consumer research, we also saw that consumers are more interested now in protection. They want savings, but protection has now become the hero. In light of this insight, the latest offering that we've launched is what we are calling the Flexi Term Pro. It's a new product from our organization based on the insights that we gathered. First and foremost, we have in this product, for the first time, offering a 1-year term. Most of the insurance products are long term, but in this product, you can buy protection even for 1 year and you can renew as you go. So the premiums are really low. So that's the first thing. The other thing is that we realized that consumers did not want to pay for a very long period of time. So in this product, we have options where the consumer can pay for shorter periods of time, but can get covered up to age of 99. So that's the second thing that we have done, basis insights. And finally, there are 2 additional features which in this product. First is that if you quit smoking or you take care of your health and there are parameters defined, then in the subsequent premiums, we also offer a 5% discount. The basic philosophy being that we are, kind of nudging our customers towards a healthier lifestyle. And if a person is a smoker, he gets an X rate by insurers, and that remains. So what we are saying is if you do stop smoking, then over a period of time, it's 3 years, we will revise your rates. And same is the case if your health parameters become better by you taking initiatives to stay healthier and fitter. So these are a few things that we have done as an organization, and protection will continue to be the hero as far as our production suite is concerned.
Welcome back. We now hear from the reinsurance space, a critical element for both life and general insurers. We are in conversation with Devesh Srivastava, Chairman and Managing Director of the reinsurance giant GIC Re.
So how has GIC Re used technology during the pandemic to keep its operations going smoothly?
Sumit, quite frankly, when the pandemic hit us, post Prime Minister's speech, when the lockdown was announced and we all went into the lockdown mode, which is almost the end of March last year, we were pretty much like headless chicken. But mercifully, our ERM has always been ahead of the curve as far as the insurance industry is concerned, and even industry-wise. We started our very robust ERM process in 2011-12, almost a decade now. That came to our rescue. So we had enough of the BCP in action that we had to already rehearsed a lot. So and mercifully also the fact that GIC is largely a Bombay-based company. So being local, that added to the benefit, and it was smooth sailing thereafter. There was some logistics involved initially when we had to transfer desktops from the office to the residences of various people. But thereafter, putting the VPN in place, it was easy. And reinsurance as a trade is B2B, you know that. We already are, there is no public interface, so to say. So we are pretty much used to conducting our business by way of an email, by way of conversations, by way of e-meetings and sorts. So everything just fell into place.
If you're looking at the reinsurance business, pre-COVID and during COVID, the lockdown, the pandemic, and now, how has reinsurance business been impacted during the pandemic and the lockdown? What was the last 1 year like for GIC Re?
In reinsurance, you can have a proportional support to your cedent, which is like more of a marriage. It's a long-term relationship. You are absolutely in partnership. If your insured sinks, you sink with him. It is you go hand in hand. The other way is a non-proportional one, in which you come in only when the losses exceed a certain level. So it is not so much of a partnership. Now, the Indian market is largely a proportional market as far as reinsurance is concerned. Now, because the pandemic affected the market at large, the economy went down. Therefore, the automobile sector, motor is a big part of the portfolio of any insurance company. That became very sluggish. So we will also have the same thing in reinsurance. We have a lag of about a quarter or 2 quarters. So that lag in our third quarter and fourth quarter, there will be a certain lag that we will see of the coming down thanks to the automobile sector being down and motor. But on the other hand, health picked up.
Yes,
health
exactly.
became something that was, phenomenal. Bombay emerged as the health capital of the country. We saw a lot of retail health products being sold, and that is also a very good green shoot for us, that people now have started realizing the importance of insurance.
How do you see your business going ahead for the next 1 year, next financial year, if you just talk about any trends, emerging trends that you're looking at and working towards?
If you see the insurance industry in India, non-life, we are pretty much used to a 15% plus year-on-year growth, which of course did not happen in this COVID year. But then going forward, and with the economy also picking up and the government's push for this $5 trillion economy, things will be back on track very soon. And we are seeing that happen as well. If you see, there's a body called the General Insurance Council, just across the road, in fact. That's a body of the IRDA, and they take out statistics every month. It is for the month and up to the month. There you see in February, almost every line of business has shown a growth. So that pickup has now become very fast, which is very gratifying, very, very good for us.
That's all on this special episode of the Economic Times Insurance Special Episode, a knowledge repository of the insurance sector in India. Thank you for watching.